This is the business news of Georgia and the world in English on TV3. I am Nugzaru Khaza. Good morning. Georgia's Health Minister Sergienko was elected a member of the Council of Ministers of Environment Protection and Healthcare of European region. This decision was made by 53 countries of the 63rd Regional Committee of World Health Organization. Deputy Minister of Health of Georgia, Mariam Jashi, attended the session of the committee, represented by 8 countries, among them heads of 4 environment and 4 health ministries. David Sergienko is the first Georgian minister who was elected a member of the council. Sergienko will work in the council for 2 years. His mandate comes into effect January the 1st of 2014. In connection with this new assignment, the WHO representative will visit Georgia on a special mission in autumn to discuss program and procedural issues connected with Georgia's membership in the Council of Ministers of World Health Organization. Council of Directors of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development approved the new strategy for Georgia, which is planned for a 3-year period. The strategy confirms Georgia's aspiration to retain the position of the region's most reformist country, which implies refinement of legal and controlling systems for business, liberalization of customs code, and further simplification of taxation system. At the same time, the strategy meant for 2013 and 2014 is targeted at boosting of private investments in Georgia. EBRD has been functioning in Georgia since 1993, and up until now, it has implemented 159 projects. Quite a figure, isn't it? Tourism, gambling, business, and hotels. One more investment group expresses interest in this variety of service sphere in Georgia. Ministries of Finance and Economy hosted the representatives of Spanish investment company Perfaco Group. At the meeting, the sides discussed the investment environment of our country. According to Georgi Tabuashvili, the Perfaco Group has assessed the investment environment in Georgia as positive and stated that it was ready to make investments in the nearest future.
They were delighted by the environment in Georgia and expressed readiness to make investments in the construction of a hotel or invest in the gambling business. I would like to thank the Ministers of Economy and Finance of Georgia. They provided us with necessary information. We need to collaborate with the Georgian side actively.
Well, investment is a good thing in general, but a certain amount of caution would not hurt either. The World Tourism Organization published a report titled World Tourism Barometer, which assesses growth of Georgian incoming tourism as the highest in the Central and Eastern Europe. It is noteworthy that the information about Georgia as the fastest growing tourism country was also published in the main annual issue of World Tourism Organization, the Tourism Highlights. As they say at the Ministry of Economy, since these publications are trustworthy and influential sources in the world tourism industry, this fact is vital in respect to attracting attention of international community, which promises to boost tourism in Georgia. According to the data of the last 8 months, the number of incoming tourists made 3.5 million persons, which is 26% more compared to the same period of last year. The biggest number of international tourists falls on August, 800,000. Statistics show that greater number of incoming tourists arrived in Georgia during the summer season. Most of the travelers who came from our neighboring countries were over 3 million people, which amounted to 88% of visitors. 5 countries that were the leaders in terms of the number of tourists were Turkey, over 1 million, growth rate 18%, Armenia, almost 1 million, growth 55%, Azerbaijan, 700,000, growth 15%, Russia, 500,000, growth 69%, Ukraine, 60,000, growth rate 73%. The most popular among the visitors are Tbilisi, Batumi, and Kazbegi. According to the National Tourist Agency, the total amount of money spent by the tourists here in Georgia went up to 2 billion laris. The dramatic increase of incoming tourism and growth of the number of visitors arriving in Georgia is conducive to a well-developed tourist infrastructure that is linked to the transportation infrastructure, especially the air transport. It is the call of the times, and new air companies enter the Georgian air travel market. Their smooth and safe operation greatly depends on the skill and expertise of Georgian air traffic controllers. Our correspondent, Kote Mosidze, has the story.
This is where air flights around Georgia are controlled. People here have huge responsibility. One slightest mistake may lead to a serious disaster. As tourism grows in Georgia, pilots and air traffic controllers have much more work to do. To find out what all of this means financially, let's talk to them directly.
Air traffic controllers get every year refresh courses that allows them to keep their air traffic control skills on very high level. The amount of traffic in Georgia is growing from time to time, and now from the recent years and this year it has grown for about maybe 30 or 40% or more, and the tendency is also rising.
In Georgian airspace is controlled from this building. We're air traffic controllers who control this air traffic. Around more than 100 air traffic controllers are employed currently at our organization. In the nearest future will be part of a big European family which is called Eurocontrol, and this will give us further developments in terms of safety.
The air travel high safety is made possible by the highly skilled pilots and air traffic controllers. Now I am sitting in the cockpit of the plane which is about to take off, and I feel relaxed because I know that my life is in reliable hands. Georgian economy is in a developing phase, but air flights here are as safe as anywhere in the world.
Yes, this is a serious part of development of national aviation. According to the information of the Russian Sanitary Service, between September 16 and 20, during their visit in Georgia, Russian experts inspected 41 companies. There are producers of wine, mineral water, and beer among the said companies. At this stage, 95 wine, 7 mineral water, and 1 beer company have received permission to enter the Russian market and register their product. The Russian Sanitary Service refused to issue the permits to 11 wine and 3 mineral water companies. According to Zura Babashidze, special envoy of Georgia's prime minister, the Russian market has inherent elements of risk. Babashidze said at the press conference, "The embargo of 2006 on Georgian products is the proof of my words. I cannot give you a 100% guarantee that 1 or 2 years later somebody will not discover metals in Georgian apples or tomatoes." He also added that the official Tbilisi has paid no price nor concessions to Moscow for returning the Georgian products to the Russian market. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't this wonderful? Meteorological tower for the first wind electric station was erected near Gori. Building of 20 megawatt capacity wind electric station is scheduled there. According to Energy Minister Kaha Kaladze, definition of technical parameters will take about 6 to 7 months, after which they will begin construction of a wind electric station. He said that wind electric stations cannot substitute hydroelectric power stations, although they will have less negative effect on the environment. By preliminary data, the output of the wind electric station will be 7 million kilowatt annually. The Energy Development Fund is implementing the project, and it costs $30 million. Azerbaijan signed an agreement on supplying gas from the Shah Deniz deposit to Europe. The contract, whose validity is 25 years, had a key significance for the second stage of deposits development and launching of TAP, the Trans-Adriatic Pipeline. The Azeri media informs that the demand on the natural gas was 2 times more than the volume of the offered gas, and consequently 15 companies submitted applications. However, the agreement was concluded with such giants as Shell, Bulgargas, DIPA, Gas Natural Fenosa, E.ON, Gas de France, Hera, Enel, and Expo. Well, I hope I have not distorted any of these great names and pronounced them properly. According to the agreement, Azerbaijan will deliver the first natural gas stream to Turkey, starting from 2018, and to Europe from 2019. The fuel will serve as main source of filling of Trans-Adriatic Pipeline. The route of TAP was elaborated at the end of June of this year. It substituted Nabucco. The new pipeline will be linked to Europe via Turkey, Greece, Albania, and the Adriatic Sea. It will enable Europe to get free from its dependence on Russia. TAP's initial capacity is 10 billion cubic meters annually, though supposedly it will increase to 20 billion cubic meters. Its construction is scheduled by 2015. Estimated gas reserves of Shah Deniz deposit are 1.2 trillion cubic meters. Wow. Gold doesn't shine as bright as it used to before. In 1 week, it went down in value by 6%, and its price at the New York Stock Exchange amounted to $1,292 United States dollars for an ounce. It's noteworthy that from January till today, the price of this precious metal dropped by 22%. Investors lost interest in the raw material and are getting rid of the so-called futures, the long-term contracts. foreign experts believe that the price of gold will continue to go down. Due to the price fluctuation on international markets, Georgian gold industry has already suffered losses. According to the National Statistics Service, in January and May of this year, gold exports from Georgia decreased by $5.3 million, about 11% compared to last year. It amounted to $41.5 million. Too bad. The moratorium on disposal of arable plots to the foreigners will be revoked. The Prime Minister of Georgia declared at the meeting with the experts. This issue was touched upon when one of the experts inquired about the conceptual contradiction between the banning of selling land plots to the foreigners and attraction of investments. Bidzina Ivanishvili met with the economic team. They arrived at the decision to lift the moratorium. The Prime Minister pointed out that introduction of limitations in the economy leads to the constrained market. At its spring session, the Parliament passed the law that suspended the right of foreign citizens to purchase agricultural lands. The moratorium adopted by the Parliament was in force until December the 31st of 2014. Not easy to make a judgment, is it? Eurocommission warned France that if the official Paris doesn't stop deportation of gypsies to Romania and Bulgaria, the Commission will introduce sanctions against France. Free movement, as well as free choice of the place of residence, is the cornerstone of human rights throughout entire European territory, and nobody is allowed to infringe these rights. The Commission's official letter says Brussels warns Paris that if it doesn't stop the deportation of gypsies, it will lead to the breach of fundamental agreement on the creation of European Union, which was concluded in 1957 among the initiator countries of the Euro family. Well, that's all today. Thank you for watching the Business News on TV3. I am Nugzarukhadze. I will see you again next Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Until then, have a lot of fun and a wonderful weekend.